right, and welcome back to the YieldNest educational series. Today we're going to talk about a blog post that I recently published, and I think it's important for me to walk over this blog post and to examine it together. This topic is about the EigenLayer Eigen airdrop and about the clarity around this and about the future token distribution of EigenLayer itself as a restaking protocol. I want to start this video off by saying that YieldNest as a liquid restaking protocol wraps around different restaking protocols. So we wrap around EigenLayer, but we're also exploring other venues basically to become this restake powerhouse, right? There's a lot of bullshit in the market, forget my French. And right now we actually only see EigenLayer as actually the serious competitor, but we're also looking into others. But so far it's been somewhat interesting, and we see EigenLayer as the front runner, the furthest ahead, and they have everything in order. So that being said, love EigenLayer. I think they're building something really cool. But let's go over the EigenLayer airdrop and my opinions on that, right? So I'm gonna go into the article and we can read it together, right? So you go to Medium and you can find this article. You can read it by yourself, right? So on the May the 10th, the long-awaited Eigen stake drop happened, and basically we have seen that this is the first phase of the Eigen airdrop. My opinion on this is that I think that the Eigen airdrop should have done a bit better. I think they should have educated the community a bit more. They should have broadened the custom slashing algorithms, or they should have broadened the reward flows or some form of real yield before releasing their token. That's my personal opinion. But they released, and I think after that was my personal opinion, because I do understand why they released it earlier actually. So the reason for that is that Eigen as a intersubjective universal intersubjective token is necessary for EigenLayer to build out the whole restaking stack. So I get it. In the beginning it was unclear to me, but now I do get why they did it, and we're gonna dive into that together. One important note to take as well, but I also mentioned in this article, is that the Eigen token allocation is going to be, and the incentives, they want to cap it at maximum of 33%. So similar as in liquid staking derivatives and staking on the Ethereum base layer and the beacon chain, there's a maximum allocation of 33. They don't want to have any liquid staking derivative more than 32%. You can really hardly protect against that, but the incentives from the Ethereum Foundation and the community should be to not make any liquid staking derivative bigger than 22%. Well, similar approach EigenLayer takes as well. They don't want any LRT or individual to be bigger than 32% of the total stake amount. So that is, I think, an important takeaway, and they double down on that in their release, right? So now let's look into this universal subjective token. So what does that mean? What does intersubjectivity actually means, and what does objectivity actually means? Well, so intersubjectivity means that, for example, if objectively something is wrong, so we can say an objective fault is, for example, staking, right? Like if we have a consensus agreement and there is an objective fact, it's like objectives. Like I can see we have these agreements and these agreements are not followed, so it gets slashed, right? In intersubjective, it's different. It's more like, okay, I think the weather is good or the weather is bad, right? Like it's more like an intersubjective thing. So I might think that the weather is good, another person could say the weather is bad. That's very intersubjective. Like it's not based on real facts. It's more like a feeling or something intersubjective that could be a community thinks A or B. It's very political as well, right? So there's two ways of slashing this intersubjective, like subjective slashing or objective slashing, right? And EigenLayer classifies this as in two ways, and it basically is that we have objective slashing and intersubjective forking. And I would recommend to just read the article to get a really deep understanding. But high level basically means objective slashing applies automatic penalties to participants who derive from protocol specifications. Simple definition, very clear, right? And intersubjective forking involves subjective decision-making where the nature of the fault attribute may not be clear-cut, right? These kind of ways of slashing, is important to separate them because you cannot have a subjective kind of dispute than having to like slash Ethereum validators, for example. This is kind of like a separate thing. So that's why EigenLayer also brought out their Eigen token, right? So I hope that this I do also understand why EigenLayer, it was hard for EigenLayer to bring out a lot of educational content around this, because this is a very difficult topic to understand. So again, I would invite everybody to read the article and to read it for yourself, but I hope my explanation on this is clear. All right, so this illustration that I'm now actually gonna showing on my screen will easily explain it, right? So there is here Ethereum staking, so basically the nLRT that I spoke about in my other videos can be objectively staked, objective attribute faults, so can be staked and can be validate AVSs that do objective slashing, right? Where the Eigen token comes in, it is more for intersubjective attribute faults for AVSs that have more like kind of like intersubjective slashing implemented in the future. These AVSs and how they differ and what kind of use cases come out of it all still need to come. So I'm like really excited to see how like objective attribute faults or intersubjective attribute faults going to be combined into one AVS, or is it going to be like two separate AVSs, or you know, there's a lot of open questions. I think still the EigenLayer team is working on, and also the other restaking teams are working on this. Or you know, what does the research say about this? There's a whole new domain, a whole blue ocean of new possibilities because of this intersubjective attribute faults or objective attribute faults that we can now kind of take care of in a cryptographic manner. So this is really cool. I think this illustration kind of, if you're a little bit, if you want to dive a bit deeper, this illustration should make sense now after my explanation, right? All right, let's dive deeper into the article. So we now understand intersubjective slashing and intersubjective forking and objective slashing. Now we can dive deeper into the Eigen token, right? So EigenLayer, we see here the release schedule of the distribution of the token. So this phase 1 has been, in this current airdrop, there's basically 2 phases of the airdrop that they're sending out, right? So the first phase is right now is they're going to distribute like around 6% of the tokens, and then over time there's a couple of other small percentages for other like tokens, for other protocols or other liquid restaking protocols that are getting some Eigen tokens, right? In the future seasons, there's going to be another 8.25% that still is going to be distributed to the wider community, to different LRTs. There will be retroactive funding. There's going to be all these really cool programs that EigenLayer is going to do. What's important to understand, and I already kind of knew this and kind of anticipated it, but I didn't have proof of it, but I'm very happy that I have it now, that the Eigen points are non-linear. This means that, yes, you form Eigen points, but if you form Eigen points, for example, with YieldNest, which is a native liquid restaking protocol, those Eigen points might be worth more than just something with Inception or another protocol that just like non-native restaking, right? And this was clear in the documentation. It's still very vague, and I think they keep it vague on purpose to not put too much gasoline on the fire when it comes to like hype. And they just want to have people that understand these differences. They want to have people that do the right thing in the system. They should educate a little bit more about it, but I think at YieldNest we got the right direction, and I think we feel how to maximize the airdrop from EigenLayer in the best way. So what is ynETH? What is YieldNest built? Well, YieldNest kind of comes out with its first kind of flagship product, which is ynETH. ynETH is a natively restaked token, and we are maximizing the future airdrops and AVSs and an EigenLayer, and we're maximizing the ETH yields and the AVS yields, real AVS yields that are coming very soon. Right, so this was a walkthrough to the article. Down here you can see all the different sources that I used in my article. And yeah, this was a very quick walkthrough about Clarity on the EigenLayer, Eigen airdrop, and the 32% cap that the Eigen Foundation is implying on all the different LRTs. Very interesting and very excited for the future of EigenLayer and restaking. And I hope to see you in the YieldNest community. Follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, go to our website, and yeah, hope to see you there. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Thank you.